To stand in front of young people, in a school hall, a classroom, or a multi-purpose room with a flickering fluorescent light, and ask them to listen to poetry, you have to be really honest. And if we're asking them to buy in, then we need to ask ourselves the question, how can we best serve them? What do we actually owe a young audience? In my humble opinion, it's not just about enthusiasm. It's not just about confidence. It's not even just about a well-memorized performance. I think it's something much more than that. If you're new here, hi, my name is Benjamin Webb. I'm an actor, writer, director, and theatre reviewer, and this year I'm joining Poetry in Action on tour, which means that poetry isn't just an idea anymore, it's daily work. Before rehearsals properly begin next week, I want to zoom out one more time. We've talked about my fears, we've talked about my method, we've talked about dealing with nerves in the room. This week, I want to talk about responsibility. So, how is this relevant for you? Well, before I start, I want you to think about something creative. Something that you've either created for someone or something someone has created for you. Think about it? Got it? Good. Well, whenever we start something creative and we do it purely out of fear, we stop serving the people or person it was intended for and instead start to serve our own ego, protecting ourselves more than honoring our audience. So with that in mind, what do we actually owe a young audience? Well, the first thing for me is respect. And respect doesn't mean simplification. It doesn't mean turning poetry into a TED Talk, although there are a great many of those, and I'll link my favorite one right up here. Simplification doesn't even mean performing with exaggerated energy so that they stay engaged. Teenagers especially have the most finely tuned radar for inauthenticity of any audience. They can tell when you're talking down to them. They can tell when you're performing at them. They can tell when you've lowered the bar because you assume they can't meet it. And the ironic thing is, as soon as you lowered the bar, that's when they become disengaged. Not because they don't understand, but because they feel underestimated. Respect in this instance, to me, means instead of approaching them with self-centered fear, flipping the script and turning it to them-centered trust. Trust that they are capable of complexity, of ambiguity, of sitting with something that doesn't necessarily resolve neatly. And that doesn't mean that we ignore context completely, that we perform carelessly. It means that we don't dilute the truth of the work out of insecurity. And yes, you're right, there will be moments in school performances where something just won't land. A line falls flat, a pause feels awkward. And in those moments, the temptation is immediate. Speed up, add energy, throw in something playful. But despite what you and I both might think, young audiences don't punish imperfection. If I say, let a silence breathe, trust the text, trust them, the room can shift on a dime. Not dramatically or with applause, but with attention, because attention is the real currency of a performance. Students aren't waiting to be entertained. They're waiting to see if I mean it, if I'm honest. That's the shift. That's the thing that we owe them. So if respect is one pillar, then risk is the other. We owe young audiences risk. Not reckless, but of sincerity. Risk of saying something and meaning it fully. Risk of allowing silence without filling it. Risk of not undercutting something vulnerable with irony. Young people live in a world saturated with performance. Social media, curated identities, constant commentary. If I'm asking them to sit in discomfort, to wrestle with language, to feel when something doesn't resolve neatly, then I have to go first. I have to risk and to give space and respect whether it comes across or not. That's the contract. That's the responsibility that I wanted to talk about. I think it's also important that we say what we don't owe them. We don't owe them perfection, trendiness, or a performance that imitates their culture in order to be accepted. What we owe them is presence, prepared, brave, truthful presence. Because if we lower our standard in the name of accessibility, we're not protecting them. We're underestimating them. Before I let you go, I wanted to share a quick few updates with you. If you're not interested, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. For those of you that are still here, just under a month ago, I posted my goals for 2026 video. I mentioned poetry, Shakespeare, backflip, running, guitar. I have updates on all of those for you. As for poetry, I've learned one of the 4 scripts for Poetry in Action and have made significant headroads on the second. With the book Poems chosen by Paul Kelly, I'm up to the letter P in my endeavour to read a letter category a day. With 7 days left until rehearsals start and 11 letters left in the alphabet, I'm 4 letters behind. But I think I can manage to read 2 letters on some days, so I'm confident that I will finish the book in time. Shakespeare-wise, I am in an upcoming production of Macbeth in just under 4 weeks on Saturday, March 14th, 6 p.m. at the Canopy in Lane Cove. It's a free outdoor event, so bring your camp chairs and picnic rugs. I'd love to see you there. Backflips! I've been continuing my training, no longer in Wollongong with Totally Tumbling and Tricks with Miss Tracy, but at PCYC Windsor with the wonderful assistant Bree. I've been going for the past 3 weeks, and my hope is that next week I will be able to land a backflip confidently on mats that are level with the spring floor. Running! In my original goals video, I shared my original times of the 2 different runs, the hilly one and the more flat one. Those are here. The second week is a little bit slower, that's here, mainly I think because on both of the days that I did the run, they were a little bit warmer than when I ran the first week. But then, here in the third week, I came back much stronger. I beat my hilly time and was much closer on my flatter time. Last week, I came around and decided to do something a little bit crazy. Not 2 runs, but 1 combined run. I ran 10k for the first time ever and posted a time of 57:27. I was aiming for around an hour, which would roughly be 10 6-minute kilometers. And I beat my estimate, which I am very happy about, but it now gives me yet another target to beat. Wish me luck. Finally, and sorry Dad, I have to report that I have not yet touched a guitar. But I did have a friend reach out to me yesterday and reminded me about the goal of guitar, so hopefully that's the Kickstarter I need to get into gear. We'll see. Next Monday will be the first day of rehearsals. I am unbelievably excited, and so my hope is to have a little 1-minute taster of what was the first day of rehearsals like. But then my hope is to have a full vlog style upload for you on Saturday about the first full week of rehearsals. Because once rehearsals start, the talking stops and the work begins. I also think I'm going to move upload day from Mondays to Saturdays. It just gives me a little bit more time to put something together from the week of rehearsals and or once I'm on tour and put it in a nice neat little package for you. So put in your diaries, Saturdays at 6 p.m, Ben Webb YouTube video. If you liked this video, give a like right back to it. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing this tour process as it unfolds. If you want something else to watch, here is what I'm most nervous about performing to students. Other than that, be well, stay safe, don't die, and I'll see you next time.